Okay, so I did have a subscriber ask me about, excuse me, emotional triggers. Now, when it comes to being a victim of narcissistic abuse, usually people end up with some type of post-traumatic stress disorder. Obviously, the CPTSR is what I'm referring to now. There's a whole thing about emotional flashbacks. So you could be, for example, a few weeks ago, I don't even know what triggered me, but I just came down with this sudden, I felt a memory was there coming to the surface, and I became extremely, sad. And I don't even know what triggered it, and I don't even know what I was sad about, but I felt like I probably pushed it down so that I wouldn't think about whatever it was. And then today I also had an instance where I was getting overwhelmed at work with just a situation that was just more about how my brain was working at the moment. It just wasn't, I wasn't able to focus and concentrate on something or get an answer to something. There's too many people in the room that in the past I felt stupid around. So I instantly got like I gotta leave. I was like, I gotta go walk away for a minute. And my boss was like, go to the, I work in an animal shelter. So I went and did the laundry for a few minutes. And then I went back to what I was doing. It's like I had to regroup for a second. And then later on figured out that the reason why I had a trigger was because it was a stupidity or feeling like an idiot trigger. And my parents used to always make me feel stupid and dumb and like call me dumb blonde jokes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, thanks for, you ha ha ha, that's funny. You try to like brush it off. I used to brush it off with my dad all the time about the ugly jokes and the stupid jokes, because I felt like if I tried to defend myself and say, like, oh, I don't like it when you say that stuff to me, because I've done it before. I probably just got ignored, and the teasing just continued anyway. So there was no reason for me to even bother. So I just think I got triggered. It was my own feelings, though. Like, I mean, yeah, sometimes people like to tease me and stuff, and it's like I don't really have a backbone sometimes. So it was my own feeling, like I felt stupid. It triggered me. I had to walk away, regroup, come back. Sometimes though, you're just kind of hanging out and you don't have any clue why you're suddenly super irritated, super angry, or super sad, whatever. And then you have to you gotta stop the best you can and try to figure it out so you can work through it. It's just you have to process it. Just kind of like when we were kids, we didn't process those emotional, it was emotional abuse most of the time, emotional, psychological. I mean, a lot of people are physically abused. Most of the time when a child is physically abused, they're not just physically abused, they're psychologically, mentally abused. So later in life, you don't even know what's triggering you, because it's usually an emotional response. And instead of being, I was in a car accident, so that's why when I go down this street, my heart rate rises. You know what I mean? Like, you have a specific instance that you can go back to and link your trauma to, and then link your emotional response to. So you were emotionally triggered by an incident. I'm speaking to the person that posted the question or the topic. It just so happened to trigger that time in your life, and hey, at least you recognized what the trigger, maybe not what the trigger was, because you probably, it just popped in your head. Maybe for some reason the feeling you were getting the tickets just happened to remind you of the same feeling that you got from that specific person. So, like sometimes with my kids, I can seem to get really agitated when they don't listen. And a therapist brought up to me that it was because I wasn't heard as a child. So it's triggering to not be heard as an adult as well. So it brings back that feeling. And unfortunately, when we're kids, we're unable to process that. So I'm sitting there not being heard as a kid, but you just go, you have to put it away, because unfortunately there's no one there that's going to help you work through that. I do want to talk more about this in depth though. I just wanted to bring that up, that with trauma that isn't related to a specific instance, like a war or a car accident or some type of just other actual incident that you can remember, it's called an emotional flashback. So unfortunately, they're really, really hard to deal with, but I do have some information, and I probably need to get that organized a little bit, and I can make another video with maybe some links to some videos. Richard Grannon is the one that basically coined the term CPTSR. I don't think anybody else has talked about that, and I really like this guy. He's really awesome. He's out of the UK, and he's very smart. He's been dealing with coaching and narcissism, martial arts stuff that has to deal with the mind for a long time. So he does have quite a bit of background. He's got some, I don't know if he actually has books out, but he has workshops. You do have to pay for them. They aren't exactly cheap, but he's good. He is good. He's got it going on. So next video I make will be a little more about emotional flashbacks, and I'll try to. Oh my God, I have no idea how to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. I'll figure out how to link in the description box some videos that you can watch. I just have to go search for them, I'm assuming, and then I think you just copy the link, and hopefully I can figure this out, and then it's just, a little more organized. The guy's got way more sponsors and backing, and he's been around the world, and so I'll see what I can do about getting you more information about emotional flashbacks, because it's completely different than having like a war flashback or whatever, some type of car accident or severe trauma that you can remember. You can actually remember the incident. I mean, some people couldn't even remember the emotional stuff. It takes a long time, and then it's over time, over and over and over again. It's like being a prisoner of war. All right, I'm gonna go because I'm super exhausted. I work at the animal shelter, and I worked all day today blood testing dogs, and I need some sleep. And I just wanted to get back on and just at least give you a little bit of information that I do already know, and then get back to you with some links. Good night.